New this morning, a new law in the works that would allow school districts to punish students for making school threats.
Yeah, we've seen cases like this time after time. It puts a burden on a lot of different people: police, parents, students, and school districts. It happened just recently in Fairview Park. 19's Noel Williams joining us live from there with details on really, Noel, how this new bill could change things.
Well, today, Fairview Park City Schools will reopen their doors after that threat yesterday at normal hours. Now, we do know them and every other school district across the city will have the choice to decide if they want to adopt this policy, and it allows districts to either expel or long-term suspend any student that makes a school threat. An email threat of explosive devices near a school building in Fairview Park. Criminal charges to a high school student for threats made on social media in Medina County, and a bomb threat made to a Lorain County high school. Each of these crimes have occurred within the last 4 months in Northeast Ohio. Wednesday, the Ohio House of Representatives passed a bill that could allow schools to expel students responsible for school threats or hand them year-long suspensions. It's headed to the state Senate and governor. If it's passed, it's still not mandatory for districts to adopt the policy. According to the bill, at the end of an expulsion period, a superintendent and a psychiatrist must assess if that student is a danger to themselves, other students, or employees. If the superintendent believes the student still poses a risk, they could extend expulsion for another term that does not exceed 90 school days. Lorain City Schools Superintendent Jeff Graham previously spoke with 19 News about a recent threat made to his school district.
We had staff that were incredibly stressed out, neighbors of our schools, obviously parents, students. So there's a ripple effect that goes through even when you're just looking into something like this.
According to the bill, a student's parent or guardian does have the right to appeal a superintendent's decision. Right now, there is no timetable of when the state senate or governor, if they will and when they will put this into effect. Reporting live in Fairview Park, Noel Williams, 19 News.